Stone Harrington debuted away. Texas Tech in their special Mahomes Ice jerseys today, and Patrick is in attendance. Cody Hagan standing in the end zone for BYU. He'll let this one sail over his head. But here comes Barrett Bachmeier. He's become a folk hero. Was at Stanford. There was some coaching instability there. Grew up in California, but then transferred to BYU. That was before Jake Retzlaff withdrew from school rather than face a 7-game suspension for the honor code. And Bachmeier, Kirk, has just taken this team by storm. He proved he was a leader from day one. The running game has been very strong. He's developing quickly as a passer.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable, an accurate passer. The thing that stands out to me is really his composure for a true freshman to be able to handle this kind of atmosphere. He needs help in the run game to get this offense going. He's listed at 6'2", 230, but he looks every bit as, I think Pat McAfee told me he was up to 260. So I don't know where his weight is.
260.
But he is a strong man, even though he's a true freshman. But they build their entire offense with quick throws and the ability to run the football to set up play action.
Can they protect him? It's a fierce pass rush. 2 elite pass rushers on this Tech defense. Empty backfield, looking to throw, and right away the pressure comes. And that is David Bailey quickly invading the backfield, the national sack leader.
And we just talked about this, our Fairfield impact players. We have L.J. Martin, again, the physicality of the running game. You're going to see him throw the ball downfield, 11 on one side. Kingston, we're going to talk about Chase Roberts, number 2. Veteran guys that can make plays. Bailey already making an impact. And what a player Jacob Rodriquez is. Some think he should be a Heisman candidate with the way he's played defense and been the leader of this defense.
2-back look and a run to L.J. Martin, who's just gritting his teeth and playing through a shoulder injury. He picks up a dozen yards.
Yeah, really good job up front. We know that the battle of the line of scrimmage, Texas Tech does not let anybody run the football on them up to this point. Number 1 in the entire country, so it's going to be tough sledding, but a good job there to be able to pick up a first down. Like I said, L.J. Martin is the key to this offense, playing through some pain in that shoulder. You can see that left, has a brace on that left shoulder.
Preston Rex, very versatile back. We'll spell him. Pitching on the edge. That's Parker Kingston, one of the top targets for Bachmeier, but he's brought down immediately. Play made by John Curry, the star. Here's your coordinator matchup.
Yeah, Aaron Roderick, he's very confident what his offense can do, even though they're in a very, very tough spot on the road. Shieldwood has brought in a newfound confidence with this defense this year. Like I said, they brought in some portal guys, especially up front on the defensive line, led by 31 Bailey and 9 Height. But it's a great group that have really bought into the attacking style of Texas Tech.
They're 5th best in points allowed. They were 122nd last year before Wood got there. Rex, not much. And BYU will face the first 3rd down of the day in all this noise. Talked about the calm. His facial expression really won't change.
Won't change. Yeah, whether he throws a touchdown or maybe a brief little fist pump, a little bit of emotion, but he's a flatliner. Very old school in the way he has demonstrated his leadership as a young quarterback. But this is it. You got 31, David Bailey, Romello Height, both these guys, number 9, both these guys get after the quarterback. Can they give him enough time to execute on these 3rd downs?
Opponents just 32% converting so far. Quick drop, slant. It is incomplete. He tried to find Kingston. He was in heavy traffic, and Bailey got a piece of the football, and BYU will punt.
Well, that's exactly right, Chris. You expect, we just were bragging about how Bailey brings pressure, and watch what he does. You think, uh-oh, is he going to get it off? And instead drops. Look how tight that window is. The true freshman getting challenged there by Shieldwood, giving him a look pre-snap, and then going to a completely different look. He almost threw it right into the chest of David Bailey, their great pass rusher.
So an early wrinkle on the first 3rd down.
That's right.
And now Sam Vanderhaar, the Aussie, on the punt. Coy Aiken is the returner, and it's a shank. Rolled out to his right, off the side of the foot, so instead of pinning Texas Tech back, let's see where they spot it. It's going to be way up around perhaps the 40. Well, Baron Morton is living his dream, born here in Lubbock, son of a legendary high school coach here in Texas, leads one of the most explosive offenses in the country, and he's been playing through pain himself. He's got a lower body leg injury. missed a couple of games. Very experienced, 5th year here at Texas Tech.
Yeah, Will Hammond at the time stepped in for him and did a pretty good job. But this offense feels different when they have their gunslinger and leader Morton out there. Hopefully he'll be able to hold up and be okay with that leg injury. But he is a great leader, knows how to get this offense in the right spot.
There's a pre-snap flag. It was just a 19-yard punt. Tech, because of all the takeaways.
Offense number 70, 5-yard penalty. First down.
The defense creates. They've also got a piece of 6 different punts. Has had a short field a lot, and BYU determined not to let that happen. But the punt, not what they were looking for.
And in conference play, they have gotten out of the gate against Kansas. They were up 18-0 in the first quarter. Against Oklahoma State, 21-0 in the first quarter. So BYU does not want to let this game get away from them.
Cameron Dickey straight ahead, with Morton shaking off some rust. They got off to a slow start last week against Kansas State. Didn't do much until the second quarter, but ended up winning going away.
There's Mac Leftwich on the right, the offensive coordinator, young guy, has a very aggressive approach, was at Texas State as an OC the last couple of years.
Downfield shot, and it's broken up. He tried to find Caleb Douglas, long, fast receiver, and Evan Johnson was there to break it up.
Yeah, and after the penalty, they spot the ball, and they were ready to go. They took a shot to Douglas, who's their best receiver downfield. Good job of trying to fight for that football, but boy, that is a great battle back and forth, and Evan Johnson using his instincts there to make that play out on the edge.
Could be a lot of tough contested catches today. Who could win those battles might decide the outcome. 3rd and 13. Plenty of time for Morton. Now retreating, scanning. He'll be sacked. He kept backing up and could not escape. He got him way behind the line. 14-yard loss, and the Cougars get off the field.
Well, this is a good job here by the middle linebacker. He's just kind of spying the quarterback just in case, and eventually he pulls the trigger and starts to chase him down, and really good coverage downfield, which allowed him to eventually get home and come up with that big sack.
Cialia Serra's first sack of the season. 2 tough defenses today. Punt by Jack Burgess, much better. It's a Muffed down there, scrambled for the football, and an early turnover. Kingston retreated, lost the ball, and Hampton falls on it. So special teams miscues early for the Cougars, and Texas Tech has a really short field. It's a swirling wind today down there.
Yeah, and Parker Kingston is so sure-handed as a receiver. It looked like he lost his balance after he bobbled the ball initially. Eyes down, away from the football, slips. And Texas Tech, with great hustle downfield, right there, takes his eye off the ball at the last second, then loses his footing. And how about Texas Tech with that hustle there by Hampton for that recovery?
Very out of character. Sataki's team does not beat themselves. Limit the turnovers. Early mistake on the road here sets up the Red Raiders in the red zone.
Believe it or not, an area they have not been great. They're 98th in the country down inside the red area.
Morton, end zone shot, and it's incomplete. Trying to loft the ball to Jacoby Williams, the multi-talented back.
And that was good against good. That was Jacoby Williams sneaking out of the backfield, matched up against Jack Kelly, who's battled through some injuries, but is healthier this week. Initially got a step or two on him, but Kelly caught up, and just not quite a chance to make a play on the ball there.
See Jacoby Williams and Cameron Dickey, 2 guys who can each make an electric impact. Williams, an excellent receiver out of the backfield. BYU still shifting around here on 2nd and 10. Motioning back in and taking the handoff was Williams. Off the left side, picks up about 3. Isaiah Glasker, one of the leaders of this defense, made the stop. 3rd down again.
You know, if you've watched college football, you think about teams like Tennessee, Ole Miss. These are the kind of offenses that they're very reminiscent of this offense that Mark Leftwich brought in. It's kind of going back to that. We talked about Art Briles, the impact he's had on college football. It's another offense. It'll stretch you horizontally, really, to run the ball.
Look how stretched they are right here. Morton, quick drop, scanning, pressured again, dropped again. BYU's pass rush gets home. That is your guy, Jack Kelly.
Well, he is a very, very talented linebacker that does a lot of things. You just saw him in coverage, and now you're going to see him what he can do when you get this offense to third down. You see the stunt, works around the other linebacker, and eventually 3 different Cougars in the backfield chasing down Bear Morton.
47-yard field goal try for Stone Harrington. They've had an ongoing kicking competition, but Harrington has emerged as the guy. As the Red Raiders try to come up with something. The muff punt, and it's drifting, and he just does knock it through. But you see Morton, not his normal mobility with that leg injury, and Cougars have gotten after.
Support each other as they chase their dreams. Here she is pregame. They hadn't seen each other for a week, but he made sure to find her. He knows that he's going for the best version of himself, but right behind him, pushing him all the way, is the most accomplished woman here in this stadium.
He's a tough guy, but I said, you're not the toughest one in your own family.
No way.
Much respect for what.
And he nodded his head in agreement.
What a defense is flexing early here, Kirk. Second possession for the Cougars.
What a start for both these defenses. I mean, Texas Tech ended up with minus 24 yards with those 2 sacks in their first possession.
Rodriquez had one of them. He's the sack leader in the linebacker position. Pass rush from all angles. Preston Rex has the football, makes a left turn, and picks up a nice first down game before Cole Wisniewski got him.
Yeah, you got to work the edges. Good job there. You're seeing a lot of movement, a lot of athletic ability on this offensive line. That time it was really outstanding blocking on the perimeter. You'll see that all day from BYU's group of wide receivers. Also the tight end Carson Ryan got out there and led the way. The line right there, you see some experience in the middle there.
Just allowed 9 sacks coming in. They know this is their biggest challenge today. 2nd and 3, handoff inside to Martin, and he'll fight near the marker. It is going to be a first down.
Now, this is a different kind of offense that Texas Tech is facing. I mentioned the stats that they have. The area that they've improved the most with the transfer portal has been the defensive front, and specifically against the run. Only 74 yards a game on the ground, but this offensive structure, the way they pride themselves on winning the line of scrimmage, it's a different kind of challenge today. And just when you get locked in on the run, they're going to go play action and test your eye discipline and get a shot downfield.
Bachmeier looking to throw on first down and has plenty of time, is now running out of it, is when you run out of the pocket, and they closed it down quickly. He spun for about a 1-yard gain.
So you're wondering why he had so much time. Well, watch it. Here's Bailey, the threat, one of the best pass rushers in the country with 11.5 sacks. But you chip with him, you get it back there, Martin, then he releases as a check down. But a good job of protecting, and nice time to call a pass on 1st and 10, mixing that in today.
Bailey already has batted a pass down, has a quarterback pressure, and now a tackle for a short gain by Bachmeier. Running on 2nd and 9. Martin, they're getting a good push.
They are.
The center of that Texas Tech
Yeah,
front.
Bruce Mitchell, speaking of the center specifically, Bruce Mitchell, 63, doing a really good job there, getting his body turned and pushing the Texas Tech defender with him to open that hole up. And you'll see that, again, they're going to hang their hat on the run game and dinking and dunking, test your eyes, and then take a shot. They want to live in these 3rd and manageable to take the heat off the offensive line and the quarterback against his pass rush.
Keeper, Bachmeier, whatever his weight is, 230. Matt claims 260. He's really, really hard to tackle, and that was evident from day one. They kind of eased him in at quarterback as a 19-year-old freshman, just running the ball the first couple of games, but don't sleep on his arm talent either, right?
Yeah, don't sleep on his arm talent or his calves. This guy is a massive dude. He will run over top of you. I don't care if he's a true freshman or a senior. He's a big hoss.
I was thinking about what Frank Broyles would say. His thighs are huge, Keith, right?
I mean, look at his entire lower half. He is going to run over people.
And another flag. It's been a little bit of a problem with pre-snap penalties. It's a tough environment here, but Sitake does not want to give away 5 yards in situations like this.
No, their offense isn't built for that.
False start. Offense number 20. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Carson Ryan, the tight end.
You know, his decision-making and accuracy kind of kidding about his ability to run, but you're right, Chris, about the way he throws. I mean, his first start, he accounted for as many touchdowns as he had incompletions in his first start. So each week he's been getting better and better.
Quick release, arm angles that Patrick Mahomes would appreciate. They don't care. 1st and 15. We're going to stay with the ground game. And Martin, a short game. Wisniewski got him. Look at this power run in what they call the Holy War. It was back and forth with Utah. Look at the determination. He had just, by the way, been hit hard in the head, targeting, stays in the game. And look at him drag Utes to the end zone here.
And how about the jump cut and how elusive he was before he ended up pulling in and, you know, pulling all those defenders into the end zone. Showed a little bit of everything there.
Showed a lot of toughness in that hard-fought win at home against the Utes. Yannick Nawahine is now the back here on 2nd and 13. Quick out. It's a low throw, incomplete. Didn't quite get it to Chase Roberts, and it's going to be 3rd and 13.
Yeah, he just tried to put a little bit on that football and got away from him. Maybe try to throw a little bit more. There's a little bit of a wind down there. Didn't quite have his feet set underneath him. Got the ball out a little bit fast and would force that ball to be inaccurate. Makes it 3rd and long. Here's Bailey on the edge, his blind side.
Between Bailey and number 9, Romello Height. As good a pair of pass rushers there are, and they're going to try to avoid the pass rush and run it on 3rd and 13. Nawahine, not much. That is a lot of respect for the Red Raiders defense shown there.
Well, this defense expects to run on 3rd down, so even the safeties aren't necessarily fooled at all. That's with Wisniewski coming up there to lower the boom. Number 5, you'll see him roaming all over. Just allows him to play center field, to use his eyes, a transfer from North Dakota State.
Try to play some field position here. Vanderhaar just a 19-yard shank the first time. We'll try to pin Texas Tech back. Boy Aiken standing at the 11. It's a high kick. See if we can get it to check up. Fair catch is made at the 8-yard line. So
ABC College Football is presented by the Starbucks Coffee Company.
This is a crazy scene. Students camping out since Sunday. Jeff Dixon was the very first in line, and he gets to stride into the stadium. He sacrificed his week to be here with this big moment in Red Raider football history.
That's all. What dedication.
You know what? And they behave themselves, Kurt.
They do.
A few fights, not many episodes down.
No, they're buttoned up. But they are loyal fans and feeling the excitement of having a top 10 team. Talking to Patrick Mahomes on the game day set about, and he's like, it was never like this when I played here. He says, it's so great to see what this program is capable of, and the crowd support has been unbelievable.
Morton just turned to the home crowd and said, calm down. Too noisy for us here. That's a first down throw as they try to improve their field position, and Reggie Virgil makes the catch. Holly?
Well, I was able to speak with Jeff Dixon, and what was impressive is he put together a spreadsheet. He got the people who were joining him in line, all 12 people, got their class schedule, put it into a spreadsheet to make sure they always had somebody on shift.
Sophisticated around the right end, and rumbling for a first down there is Cameron Dickey. Picks up 6, and the drive is up and going.
Well, it's great to see him. Like everyone's dialing him up now, calling him, letting him know he's getting hit up and getting his face time, but he deserves it. Yeah, we were blown away this morning by just a tremendous crowd. A lot of them camped out all week just to have a chance to be there.
Biggest home game since the Mike Leach era,
yeah.
2009, 2008. Those were great years for Tech football. Long pitch. Virgil has it, and he's near the marker and picks up about 9 before Kwale Satuala got him.
You know, all these receivers at Texas Tech have great length. This time, Virgil, who's known as, he can go by you at 6'3", 190, the Miami, Ohio transfer, but does a good job of selling that, then coming right back to the football to have that cushion.
That's Caleb Douglas, the receiver. You talked about the best guy at that position for this team. Always lines up on the right side. Looks like he's okay.
And just running around, he got tripped up by a BYU defender trying to make his break, and just ended up getting his feet caught up with a BYU guy, and he went down, was not able to get up. Good to see him walk off the field.
Short gain for Dickey on the left side. Let's take a look at the impact players brought to you by Fairfield by Marriott. When Texas Tech got the football, already seen Dickey and Douglas featured.
Yeah, both of these guys, Dickey and Williams in the backfield. Douglas will be downfield, and then you'd see Kelly and Wall, two great leaders, 17 and 28 from BYU.
Hand off to Dickey again on a delay. She took the direct snap.
Well, he does a really good job of just being able to hold on to this football. Watch this, and see, direct snap. Good job of holding on, strong hands there.
Red Raiders, of course, will crank the tempo. Morton on the move, big collision. Waiting for him was Logan Latui. You could hear the pads pop.
Yeah, Logan Latui right in position. Quarterback trying to almost bait him to try to get him to go out towards the perimeter. Try to see how it started a pump fake, but the big man plays well in space, 260 pounds, bringing him down. It's Texas Tech with a long third down.
Over Weber State. You not want your quarterback to take too many hits like that. Needs 6 on third down. Douglas is back in the game in his usual spot, wide to the right side. 3-man rush. Morton, time to scan and launch. And threw it up, and the catch is made by Coy Aiken. Came back to the football. That ball got caught up in the wind, perhaps.
Well, he threw it right between the corner and the safety, and it floated up in the air. And I thought Evan Johnson, the corner to the right, would get underneath this. But as you said, Aiken coming back to the ball is why he makes the catch.
Direct snap again to Cameron Dickey. He'll do that because they don't want to run Morton on these design runs, but it's a ball that kind of fades, but a great action.
If Aiken doesn't come back to that ball, and it's an easy interception for Johnson.
Banging forward, Dickey near the marker. Going to say he's just short.
You know, Texas Tech is #1 in the nation with explosive plays. So they've scored a lot of touchdowns. Their challenge for them, again, is when they've been in the red area, 98th in the country. First one went to BYU. Who's going to win down here this time?
Spinning around and making the first down. Sarah got Dickey down, and yeah, their touchdown percentage is very, very pedestrian as Patrick Mahomes looks on.
What's great about Patrick Mahomes is not only is one of the greatest to ever do it at quarterback, and of course here, he is just such a junkie, a fan of the sport. So he is fired up on his bye week to be back here and support his team.
Coach Andy Reid is a former BYU Cougar lineman. Thought he might come along, but I guess he did not make the trip today. Dickey again, just dragged down by Lutui, but Texas Tech squandered bad field position, at least in terms of getting in the end zone. Had poor field position here, but they've already moved it 83 yards.
Yeah, they're doing a good job here up front, the execution. That time Terrence Carter, the big tight end, came around, got a really good block to open that up for positive yards. He's got a one-on-one chance at both receivers. Playing man coverage on the outside.
Final 30 seconds of the quarter. Second down throw to the end zone. Douglas. Touchdown, Texas Tech. What a drive. 61 yards. They mixed in 8 running plays in the drive.
And like I said, they've had trouble scoring touchdown in the red zone. His eyes lit up. That was a running play that they had, but it had the tag of being able to go if he saw man-to-man, throw the fade, and that's what he did. He found his main man open one-on-one for the touchdown.
Talked about the fast starts of Texas Tech. And they have jumped out by 10 here, assuming Harrington can knock this through. Well, the pass rush got after Red Raiders offense the first couple possessions. But you see number 5 scored for Texas Tech as the legendary number 5 looks on, liking what he's seeing. As the stretch run unfolds, you're going to see games like this. Notice Texas Tech with a win, 84% chance to reach the college football playoff. A loss, it's deep trouble. BYU coming in undefeated. can kind of afford a loss in the eyes of the computer. It'd still be 50-50. What they can't afford to do is have too many empty possessions on offense. They've been used to coming back. Double-digit deficits, no big deal for BYU, but this is a very, very tough environment. Bachmeier, given 47 by his dad, Michael. He played middle linebacker, running back in youth football. He just kind of kept the number when he shifted to quarterback in junior high.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to see. It's unusual. It's different. Kind of fits his style of play. They got to get him going right now. First quarter, 1 of 4 for 1 yard. Wonder if the wind down the field, I feel like they're facing, you look at the flags at the top of the stadium, into the wind, but got to get him going with some screens and some high percentage throws.
They know they got to run the football to have success. Texas Tech extremely stout, and that push they were getting early, not happening the last couple possessions. He picked up 2 there. Now this great buildup in West Texas, all the hype and the hysteria for this game, and the Red Raiders fans love what they see in the first 15 minutes. 10 local ABC station.
How do you keep that part active and keep him going?
Yeah, we have no choice. We have to stop the run and get after him.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
2nd and 8 here to start the second quarter. Bachmeier, his second completion, really his first downfield throw, finds Roberts for a first down across the 40.
They had 2 fullbacks in the game in this possession. Watch how they move, what this does to this defense, flowing with those 2 H-backs. See how they move? Now you got maximum protection. You got the wind at your back. Get aggressive. Get the ball out a little bit quicker there with Bear Bachmeier, and you get a first down.
Speaking of fullbacks, that's the position that Satake played under Levette Edwards, who is his mentor. Bachmeier escapes and then runs right in to a tackler after a 2-yard gain. It was Ben Roberts filling along with John Curry.
But a big focus for them against a big freshman quarterback is when you get a chance to hit him, and hit him again. Let him think twice before he wants to run against this defense. That's why you see the intensity there and finishing a tackle by 2 Texas Tech defenders. The big man there. Look at that. Both of them lowering the boom. Curry and Roberts.
Option look. Pitch on the edge. And banging forward is Martin. They'll run that kind of speed option effectively and make the defense prove they can stop it.
Yeah, it's a really good time to call that is against man-to-man coverage, because if you can get it pitched out into the alley, the defensive backs have their back to the ball. Time Bailey did a really nice job of slow playing that, forced Bachmeier to pitch it, and then chased it down.
Yeah, he's known as the elite pass rusher, big-time NFL prospect, but he's shown the complete game today.
He's doing it all today, playing out in space.
It's like it could be a direct snap. Yeah, it's Martin. Handle, a little trickery. Bachmeier flips it, and the catch is made. And it's going to be nice gain to Carson Ryan, the tight end. A little wrinkle there from Aaron Rodriquez.
And why do you do all that? To affect the eyes of these guys. Slow them down. Direct snap to the running back. Give a little toss, a little fake toss. By the time they figure out what's going on, everybody has their eyes back there trying to figure out, is he going to run it? What's he doing? Then he fakes a toss. And all that time, Ryan just slipped out into the flat with nobody on him. Well designed.
Both teams should employ some trickery today. You got multiple guys who can throw the football, skilled position players on both sides. Martin, it was heavy traffic at the middle, kind of picks his way for a short gain. Romello Heights plays that dog position, Phil, quickly.
Could not have 2 more contrasting styles offensively. Texas Tech can score in a blink of an eye. They got a lot of weapons. BYU, they want to possess the ball. They want to keep Bear Morton on the sideline, and Texas Tech's firepower on the sideline. Huddle up, take your time. A little bit more methodical, requires a lot of execution, because a lot of times you're going to drive the length of the field to do it.
Handoff, Kingston around end. He's slippery and speedy. Wrestled down by Rodriquez after a 5-yard gain. 3rd down coming up.
And all these things that they're doing, running the football into the interior, some option, some jet sweeps, all of this is their identity of who they are. but it leads them to where eventually they want to go. They want to get the Texas Tech defense so concerned with all these different formations, personnel groupings, that they lose their focus, and they can set up their play action to hit them on shots downfield.
Out of the huddle quickly, but Texas Tech invades the backfield. And David Bailey continues to do it all. Drop Martin for a loss. It's 4th down, and that's going to change the decision now for Sitake.
Chris, watch how he slow plays it and then comes down. He should have pulled that. You can see he's frustrated with himself. He pulls this, and he's got a 1st down. He rode it. He stayed on it long, but I think Bailey did a good job of waiting and then collapsing down. If he would have pulled that, he walks around Bailey for an easy 1st down.
So Will Farron is a tremendous, consistent kicker and has good range, has the breeze at his back from 51. And he hooked it. Special teams a problem for BYU early on. The shank punt, the muffed punt, and now a missed field goal. So Sitake's team, what a long march, but they come up. They dare to dream about that. Two programs that have positioned themselves, but a lot of work to do. And Texas Tech up 10. Look out, Jacoby Williams is an electric runner in space. Can they chase him down? Huge explosive run inside the 25. Picked up 43 before Glasker saved the touchdown.
Condensed formation. Good job of sealing that edge. And you're right, Chris. There's a difference between Dickey and Williams. He just needs a little bit of space because of the way he can accelerate. And that time he almost took it to the house.
Former 110-meter high hurdle champion in the state of Texas, and it's not handed out easily. It's tough competition, track and field in the state.
And he's you know, even though he's got that track background, he's got a good side-to-side movement, which buys him time to use his vision to find those creases.
That tough battle against Kansas State on the road, a must-win game. He broke it open, a couple touchdowns. Morton looks left. That's the tight end, Carty, who came across in motion, a little bit behind him, but off his hands. It's going to be 3rd and long.
Yeah, they put him in with an exit motion. He was in tight. They got him out wide where he could use that slant route to be able to work against a corner. Ball thrown behind him, so now a big 3rd down here. Really big for BYU's defense. Doesn't it feel like it?
Yes.
I mean, they don't have the offense really built to get down 17 and then have to fight back in this environment against this defense. They need to come up with a stop.
Morton, slant, caught, 1st down. Terrence Carter, good pass catching tight end, very smooth, fast guy.
Well, they went right back to this exact same play, that exit motion to get him out to the perimeter. And then they cleared the 2 receivers in front of him. It opened up a ton of space. Pretty tight coverage, but a perfectly thrown ball by Baron Morton.
He'd been out injured, returned last week. He's a matchup problem. Delayed handoff inside. Dickey knocked down after a short gain. So they convert the 3rd and long. And as you said, this Cougars defense really backed up now. 17-0 would feel like a tall mountain.
Very, very tall. Boy, these backs, Dickey and Williams, complement each other so well. Such different running styles and strengths that they bring. Dickey more of a hammer, especially down in this area.
215, but he runs bigger than that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Morton zips it incomplete. He trying to find Aiken on a crossing route. Good coverage by Cabella.
Yeah, Cabella out there played man-to-man on that last play, and there was a pivot route where the receiver Aiken went in and then worked back outside, hoping that he could get the leverage on the defensive back. He had it, but good pass rush to force that ball out a little bit early. Big 3rd down again.
Big red zone moment for this offense that hasn't been elite in this area, as you said. 3 receivers to the right. And a whistle before the snap. And a timeout's going to be taken by Texas Tech. So McGuire,
First charge
timeout. Did not like what they saw there.
Media timeout.
And we'll come back. Red Raiders. Tortillas, that's been outlawed here. It's going to be a big fine and a penalty, so the great tradition is no more. Third trip to the red zone already for this Texas Tech offense. Baron Morton, by the way, you look at all the things that he does well as a quarterback. He's elite throwing the ball on third down situations like this. 70% completion, Kirk. He's got the best yards per attempt of any quarterback on third down throws.
A little tighter down here, obviously, in the red area.
No doubt.
BYU loading up against this third down.
Morton chased, heaves it, and it's incomplete. Pressure came pretty quickly there from Jack Kelly again, and they'll force a field goal.
Yeah, you and I saw the same thing. I mean, it was Kelly on this blitz. What I love to see is, you know, he comes in initially and then goes right through Dickey and pushes him through a second time, almost threw him into the quarterback's face. Good aggressive approach there by BYU to get off the field.
Notice Kirk Morton was kind of hobbled. He kind of limped off the field that time. Again, he's got that lower leg injury that he's just kind of managing, but mobility not ideal. Chip shot for Harrington from 27, and to make it a 13-0 game midway in the second quarter. So another effective drive from Texas Tech. They do settle for 3. And keep an eye on, you know, Baron Morton. Cougars pass rush has been getting after him, and as he ran out to his right to avoid Kelly, may have tweaked that leg. Here he is leaving the field. Time, LSU and Alabama. Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy, Molly McGrath in T-Town for that one. Which has a different feel this year for sure. Harrington boots it, and Hagan will take it 1 yard deep. Another tough play, and he's going to get to the 15, but the special teams continue to be very shaky for the Cougars. Let's see who's bringing the heat. Brought to you by Sonic. It is number 31 in white today.
Yeah, David Bailey, known as a elite pass rusher, one of the best in the country, if not the top pass rusher. We've seen that here. Slow play on the option. Look at that speed by the big man, chasing down L.J. Martin. And then here, fooling the young freshman Bear Bachmeier on the zone read, waiting, and then collapsing down. That was a 3rd and short where he made a great play.
Bailey lined up again on the edge. He comes from Mater Dei High School in California, played at Stanford. Has been one of the high-impact portal additions in all of college football this season. 55 quarterback pressures is #1. So besides the sacks, he's affecting quarterbacks almost every drop back.
Or if he doesn't get a pressure, he gets a double team, and then he frees up Romello Height and the rest of the defense. So yeah, he is an obvious weapon that they went out and brought in. But BYU sticking to their guns. No reason to panic. Still a lot of 12 personnel, 2 tight ends. Still running the football. That's who they are.
It's a run blitz, a quick throw. And that's Chase Roberts. He was in the area where the corner darted off, but the Tech's closing it down quick. Only 5-yard gain.
Yeah, and a good job. What he saw right is the blitz and watch the eyes of the quarterback right away. Saw it, boom, get the ball out. Quick side adjust.
Good reaction though by Wisniewski there.
Yeah, but yeah, safety comes up, does his job, keeps him short of the first down. A couple times they brought the corner cat blitz from the boundary against Bachmeier, trying to show it late, trying to disguise the best they can to fool him.
3rd and 2. Almost got to think about QB run. Bachmeier rolls, dodges pressure. Now he's going to try to scramble for it and doesn't get there. So they're looking to throw for it on 3rd and 2. End up with no gain, and Sataki doesn't want to have to send that punt team out there, but they're inside the 25.
They started to send him out, and then they kept him on the sideline. You got a 200, whatever he is, 240, 250-pound quarterback. They run a lot of shotgun, get him under center maybe, and try to sneak.
I know you said they won't panic. This is an interesting call, though. This backfires. Man. You're really on the ropes.
And they're not going to get him under center.
2 tight ends. Bachmeier, predictable call, but just a bruising power run to move the sticks. And BYU fans, you can breathe now.
You see Kalani Sitake with his fist pumping there like, yes, that's who we are. We get to those short yardage. We're going to take a chance even deeper in our own territory. Down 13. That could have gotten sideways in a hurry. There's the reaction.
The whole world knows what's coming. Relying on the power of the quarterback.
It reminded me 2006 when Chris Leak was the Gators quarterback and big number 15 would come in short yardage and in the red zone. You knew it was coming, but he was such a big, powerful runner. Tim Tebow, he would be able to get it. That's what they think about Bear Bachmeier. He can get those short yards.
2 backs in the game. They fake it to Martin. Bachmeier looking to scramble and now delivers a shot. And that's JoJo Phillips, who bobbled it. He's the guy that one of their more dynamic players, injured early in the season, finally coming back.
Yeah, and
the catch.
Here he does. Look at the separation he's creating. Good job. Bachmeier puts it in front of him. And again, I don't know if that's just a case where you're just starting to think about where to go. Now, in his defense, Chris, you mentioned the injury. That was 2nd game of the year against Stanford, a broken collarbone. Hadn't played a lot, obviously, since in his first game back. But just maybe thinking about running before he caught that. But that's the 2nd time we've seen the eyes of a receiver or a punt returner off.
Pitch to the edge and go right back to JoJo Phillips, who makes a nice catch. Short gain, picked up 7.
The Tiger Bachmeier, good block out in front. Boy, you throw JoJo Phillips with Chase Roberts, Parker Kingston, and L.J. Martin. I mean, they got weapons around this young freshman. Another 3rd down, 2 of 6 so far.
Just 4 down territory?
If they get to 4th and a yard, it probably is.
Roberts comes across in motion. Bachmeier from the pocket slings it sidearm, and Martin working hard doesn't get there. Running out of space and running out of time as Jacob Rodriquez closed him down. It's 4th down again. They need about 2 this time.
And they're going to punt this one away. Didn't quite get close enough to maybe justify going for it. They really can't afford to roll the dice again on this possession.
Think about the drop by Phillips. Look, you come in as an underdog. Texas Tech is rolling, playing well. You simply cannot overcome the number of mistakes that the Cougars have made so far. That's why they're down 13-0. Drops, muff punts, missed field goals. It's been a tough start for the undefeated team from Provo. Vander Haar with that wind at his back. It's a low kick, and Aiken makes a fair catch at the 22. Holly?
Well, guys, you saw Baron Morton limp off a little bit. He has been dealing with a hairline fracture in his fibula after week 1. He's been going through some pain, but look what they've worked out for him. This is a 3D carbon fiber mold of that side of his leg. He puts it under his tights, tapes it up, and you can see it's providing a little bit extra protection on that bone. But he did tell us he gets sore. It is still healing. He aggravated against Kansas a couple weeks ago, sat out for 2 weeks, and now he's back. But definitely keep your eyes on that. He limped off in the last possession.
He wanted to play against Arizona State. That's the one game they lost right after the injury. They wisely sat him a couple of games, but he has been around too long and waited for moments like this. Does not want to pass up the opportunity, no matter how painful it is. Misfires that time.
Not only has he waited for his opportunity, you guys showed the video and the pictures of him as a youngster growing up. 2008, when we were here for the game with Michael Crabtree when they upset Texas. I mean, he is a diehard fan who ended up punching his ticket to become a player for the team that he grew up. So you can understand why he would want to do this and play, you know, no matter what it takes.
Young Morton there with Clay McGuire on the Red Raider. Look out. Mobility not there. Jack Kelly closed it down quickly. 3rd time they've sacked Morton.
Yeah, they keep bringing these linebackers, and they're doing such a good job of winning. Their coaches feel that when these two are together and they're healthy, I'm talking about these two right here, Kelly and Glasgow, They're as good as any tandem in the country. Look how they just bounce off the pass protection there by the running back, Williams.
You watch a lot of college football games, you won't see a better linebacker game than this one, right? Both sides, elite linebacker play. 3rd and 19. He'll just hand it off and hope that Williams can find space. He doesn't. Man, that's BYU's defense making a desperately needed stop.
And they still have their 3 timeouts. Remember, Tech deferred, and so they will get the ball to start the second half. And if BYU looks like we'll get one more possession to try to get points up on the board, cut into this 13-point lead. They do have the wind behind the back of the quarterback.
Jack Burgess makes his first appearance to punt, or it should be second appearance. It was Kingston who had trouble with the first one. This one they punt away from him, and it's fielded on the bounce, and then stepping out of bounds for the Cougars. Nakua. But talked about the game in 2008. Michael Crabtree had the last word. Number 1 Texas.
Michael Crabtree. Oh my gosh, number 1 goes down.
And the party was on in Lubbock.
What a night. Look at that scene.
Yeah, we were a small part of that. There were some former Red Raider players who were hanging around, as I recall, celebrating the moment.
That was cool. That was cool. You were down there with the bear down there. Never forget your reaction.
That was right by the pylon.
You were shocked. Your facial expression actually really represented the moment, maybe better than anything.
Bachmeier tries to leap, but he just left right into the arms. He got slammed down by Wisniewski.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to jump up there and give the defense a chance to get an opportunity to take a shot like this. Wisniewski just lowers him, throws him down into the turf.
He is one of the better hitters you'll see in the safety position.
The quarterback made it easy for it to him there. Just jumped up into his arms.
So BYU, 2nd and 8, a long way from trying to cut into this lead of the 2-minute timeout.
From Missouri, Matt Zollers.
This is a 61-yard punt, by the way, into the wind by Burgess. Texas Tech, complete dominance. Special teams is backed up. BYU here. 2 minutes to work with on a 2nd and 8. 4-man rush. Bachmeier from the pocket. Threw it into traffic. Almost intercepted. It was Brendan Jordan, the safety, tracking across, battling with Chase Roberts.
Yeah, they use max protect again. Tight end and a running back staying in. Ball's got to get out in a hurry. See the safety kind of bracketing there, reading the receiver. If he cuts in, he makes a play on it. Came very close to stepping up in front of that. Good eyes there by Brendan Jordan, 7. Almost paid off for an interception. Roberts fighting for it, created the incompletion.
Cougars can't pick up 8. Tech's going to get the football back before halftime. And we said they're going to get it at the beginning of the 3rd quarter.
False start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Zaya Jada, we talked, Kirk, about the double-digit deficits. BYU came from behind to win in Boulder. In Tucson, that was double overtime. That was a really great late rally. And in Ames. But this is none of those places. And this is Texas Tech, a legit top 10 team playoff contender. And if they can't get the yards here, it's buckle up time.
Yeah, with guys like David Bailey on the other side. And that time Bailey, opposite of Jada, created the tackle, trying to get out a little bit early.
Bachmeier just running all the way. Running in circles and dropped for a loss. I tell you what, this pass rush is in the head of the young quarterback. You can understand why. That was Romello Height who dropped him, and they'll punt again.
Yeah, that was just 4 guys rushing the quarterback. You know, he gets out of there fast because of the edge pressure on both sides by Height and Bailey. And they're getting a pretty good push into the inside as well, led by Lee Hunter. Let's go back to that 08 game and see Chris's reaction. There it is right there.
You know what that face is?
Holy
the national championship chase is changing right now in front of our eyes, because BCS era, Texas Tech was #1. Mike Leach never failed to mention that. Our late buddy here, every time I saw him, he brought that up. And
what a moment.
It was a great moment.
You're a fan.
I mean,
you're caught up in the. I was up here doing that too, calling the game.
They've waited a long time, and that was a great era of Texas Tech football, but it's been a little bit of a drought. You talk about Joey McGuire comes in here. They hadn't even had a winning record in the conference for a dozen years. And he's stacking together now. And this is, I think we're seeing, if you didn't know much about Texas Tech, haven't seen a lot of their games, a legit, powerful, well-balanced team. Vander Haar, wait for the coverage team to get down there, punted it, and a fair caught by Coy Aiken. Week 10 Monday Night Football. The Eagles square off against Jordan Love and the Packers from Lambeau, 8 Eastern. Peyton and Eli have the Manning cast on ESPN2. So here's Texas Tech, Kirk, chance to really stick the dagger in, perhaps. BYU's, they're tough, they're resilient, but as you said a couple times, not really built
no, they're not.
Deficits, and they're having trouble stopping this Red Raider offense. So this is a big last minute 42 of the half.
Absolutely. Have the one timeout left. But they are comfortable in that up-tempo pacing. That's who they are anyway.
This time, good protection from Morton. Got plenty of time. Now runs out of it. That's just a coverage sack. There was nobody open. Isaiah Glasker eventually there, and it's a 4th BYU sack.
Boy, Jack Kelly and Isaiah Glasker. I see what the coaches are talking about. It's been a long time since we've seen BYU have both these guys healthy. Give credit to the coverage downfield. Really well schooled, and he's on the edge there against the tight end Carter. Does a good job of just kind of holding on to Carter because he could release and go out for a route. Comes off of him. And BYU will call the timeout, thinking ahead, maybe trying to get the ball back for maybe one last possession after that sack.
Yeah, the 9-yard loss. Interesting decision by Sitake.
Yeah, smart. And he didn't wait.
Glasker and Kelly, so much time together in the field, but they also, unfortunately for them, bonded in the training room. They've both been nicked up, kind of playing through things, and the commitment that it takes just to deal with the bumps and bruises. And we are 9 games into the season. You can see when those guys were healthy, they have been for a while.
Different defense.
Yes,
different defense. Not only leadership, but playmaking ability. Just like what Texas Tech has with Bailey and Height. And these guys are at the second level. Get involved in pass coverage and also, as we've seen today, rushing a quarterback.
5 receivers, empty backfield. Morton pump fake, now delivers across the middle, and that's Carter, the tight end. Look out. He's going to be brought down just short of the marker, and now that timeout that Sitake took may have backfired. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, it's you roll the dice there. Here we go with that tempo. Boy, is Carter a difference maker, a tough matchup.
Dickey escapes, still running. Cameron Dickey, powerful run inside the 45, picked up 11.
So important, obviously, to wrap up any of these backs, but especially how physical Cameron Dickey is, spinning out of a couple would-be arm tackles.
Lasker and Satawala had a chance to bring him down, and now Morton takes a shot, and coming back to grab it is Virgil. Run out of bounds. 1st and goal in the final minute, picked up 39.
Well, that was perfectly thrown, and a great route that time on a slant and go by Reggie Virgil, who's a great vertical threat. One-on-one, these corners are on islands. Safeties were occupied in the interior. It freed it up on the outside. He knew all along he was going to throw it to number 1 and hits him in stride for a big gain.
Boy, when they have it knocked Morton to the ground, he's thrown some nice balls.
3 plays now over 35 yards.
Handoff inside. 15 that time contained. Tech with 1 timeout.
Yeah, they're going to hold on to that last timeout. You know, field goal keeps it at 2 scores.
Yep.
Psychologically, a big boost for BYU, or a knockout shot maybe for Tech.
Slant incomplete. Just off the hands in the end zone there of Coy Aiken.
Boy, Aiken, that looked like a bust in coverage. Nobody there. It's a touchdown. Nobody took him there on that quick slant. Mahomes thought it was 6. He is all in.
Normally pretty reliable slot receiver is Aiken.
Yeah.
3rd and goal. Pressure comes, man in the flat. It's Aiken. Yeah, he'll be wrestled down short of the goal line. The clock is still moving. He's brought down inbounds by Satuala, so Tech will have to take their last timeout to stop the clock if they want to here. Yeah, they're just going to let it.
Go down.
Play for a field goal.
Yeah. What a play there. Satuala, huge stop.
Feels like a tough deficit to make up, but that was a 4-point play. If Aiken gets free in the end zone, the drop, of course, on the previous play was a real chance to go up 20-0 at the break. And instead, Harrington comes out for his 3rd try of the half.
This is the entire drive here. This is a big play here by Terrence Carter on its 2nd down and long after the sack. Got their mindset changed to think about trying to come up with points. Good tough running, couple spins here to be able to get out of some arm tackles by the tough running Cameron Dickey. And then downfield, just taking a shot on a slant and go. This is a great route by Reggie Virgil. Gave him a chance to maybe, here's the motion. Watch the reaction right here. Now he's got to go back. Now he's got to work through like a mesh route, work through some traffic. And he ends up making a play just short of that goal line. Satuala leads to Cougars in tackles. Made a big one there.
Well, it's 4th down and no field goal attempts. Offense out there going for that perhaps knockout punch.
And I think it's the opportunity, right? The opportunity with the ball to start the 2nd half. Why not? Why not take a chance here? Your defense is playing so well. Makes sense. BYU going to call a timeout now as well. I think both these coaches know what's at stake here. You know, BYU gets a stop the way this whole half has gone, just to be down 13. That would be a win, really, for BYU, as opposed to the other side of that. Tech scores, they go up 20. They get the ball to start the 2nd half. Love our viewers to stick around, but it may, it would not be pretty.
Sadaki says now they're built for this, resilient. This is completely different with respect to their comebacks earlier in the season. To be in this environment against this team, and
best team they play.
Nasty pass rush. If you have to come out of character, if you can't build things around the running game, you have to throw a freshman back there against this group.
No,
very challenging.
They like to play where, you know, they're within a possession or they're leading. You know, it allows them to kind of stay with their style of offense. They do not want to put that offensive line and this quarterback into obvious passing when you know you're going to have to throw against Bailey and Height and company.
Jacoby Williams, one of the running backs, is set out far to the right along with Douglas. 5 receivers. Can Tech perhaps deliver a knockout from the pocket? Incomplete. It was broken up. Terrence Carter was the intended receiver. Look how fired up Sataki is.
I'm telling you,
Raider DeMooney who came across.
He's down 13, but like I said, that is a boost to go in to come up with that stop. And Isaiah Glasker, as soon as the ball is snapped, 16, he looks into that slant. But I think it was really on the back side there with Dumani coming in there to knock that away that prevents that from being a touchdown. Big stop by the BYU defense.
You're getting healthier, BYU. He's been out 3 games, and Mahomes says, oh, the red zone, a little tricky. 4 trip.
Throwing a little bit more on early downs. He's got a great group of receivers. They're going to have to utilize them, but don't wait till 3rd down. I think early downs would be a good time to air it out.
Here's a big play by Raider DeMooney to break up that pass in the final play of the half. Holly?
Well, 4 plays. That's what Sataki talked to his team about. 4 plays is the difference maker in that first half. He said, we muffed the punt. We gave up 2 long pass plays and a long run. So we're only down 13. He said, unfortunately, we've got experience. We've been in this situation before, so we know how to climb out of it. But what will it take to climb out? That we've got to keep stacking play on play on play on offense. They're getting some short yardage ground game, but they've got to keep stacking bigger plays to keep those chains moving.
There have not been very many explosive plays at all 12-yard run by L.J. Martin and a couple passes for 14 to Roberts, 15 to Ryan.
No shortage on the Tech side of explosive plays. There's Jacoby Williams, who created one of them on the ground, goes off the left side for 4.
Yeah, this offense, again, they spread you out. They make you declare where your numbers are going to be, and then they like to attack in other areas.
Quick pitch to the edge. And knocked out is Aiken. You think about that pass right in his chest that McGuire referenced, that would have been a touchdown at the end of the half. So BYU really fortunate really to be within 2 scores at this point. But as you said, a chance here, get a stop on 3rd and 3.
Going empty. Let's see if he brings the running back Williams back. He's all the way at the top. Is he going to keep him out there? He's got Kelly matched up across from him, 17 blue.
Cougars not showing pressure. They rush 4. Barron.
There it is.
Lofts it down the field. Battle for the football. And it is Jacoby Williams over there, defended by Jack Kelly. And Cougars do get that stop you said they needed here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, just pointing to that. The running back against Kelly is a matchup, one-on-one, gets separation. The ball brings him back, and it gives Kelly a chance to get his hand on that football. Turns, looks. Actually, he does not get a hand on the football, but it's good enough coverage there that made it tough on Williams to make that catch. So they do their job, getting the 3 and out.
Burgess punting into a win that's picked up even since the first half. It's a pretty stiff breeze. It's had a line drive, ugly kick. Gets a good bounce. Kingston tracks it down. And he knocked out of bounds after a short return. And BYU will start about the 16 as a 52-yard punt. Against the wind, he kept it low, line drive. Ram trucks for their unstoppable performance.
It starts with their defensive pressure off the edge with height. Saw Bailey there making plays. This young quarterback has really been overwhelmed. Pass rush has been able to affect him. The coverage moving around, giving him different looks. Hasn't been able to settle in. Still fighting. But they've got to do it, like I said. I mean, now that they have tough field position after that punt inside their own 11, might be tougher to do. But once they get favorable field position, get closer to midfield, start play action passes on early downs to Roberts, Kingston, and JoJo Phillips.
Bachmeier told us he has a kind of a power saying that he tells to himself when things are getting tough. I can't fully say it, but it's I'm that dude.
There you go.
I'm that dude. He keeps kind of repeating to himself. But he has a lot of poise and natural leadership ability. But as you said,
it's help.
Tough stylistic matchup against this defense.
Yeah, and they're just not built to get down by 20 offensively and have to fight their way back. Here within a couple possessions, still can stay within the structure of their offense. Still try to win the run game, still win the line of scrimmage. At some point, you get back into this game, you need guys on the perimeter to make plays.
21 rushes for just 64 yards. Play fake on 2nd down across the middle. It's a low throw catch made at the 32 by Roberts. At 14.
Roberts had room off the line of scrimmage after JoJo Phillips right there. You can see him on the inside. So he works around him and back underneath into the interior of that defense behind the linebackers and gets his hands underneath for the 1st down.
Besides the tough running, shots, as you know, are a big part of this offense. They haven't really been able to get the ball downfield.
I think you're going to see that, especially like I said, 1st and 10. It's a big risk because if it's a home run and it's a foul ball, you come back and it's 2nd and 10. They're going to have to take some shots on these early downs now that they got that 1st down.
Keeper plows off the left side. Analytics plays such a huge role. If you listen to these guys, they really feel that not nearly enough teams in college football take downfield shots. It should be employed a lot more. If you hit 1 out of 3,
yeah,
it's a huge game as opposed to just trying to be patient, chip away.
It's tough to do. You see it up in the NFL and in college where defenses are more and more trying not to give up those home run shots, make you go 10 and 12 plays. Very few offenses have the discipline that it takes to be that consistent, driving the length of the field, 10 and 12 plays.
Weston Rex, just too much traffic and too much speed on the edge. Jacob Rodriquez, the tackling machine, part of that mustache crew, got out there to stop him.
Well, Carson Ryan right here, he's going to come out on like a stalk block, but watch how quickly the defense and the speed that they have. You leverage the football, don't give him the outside. If he goes anywhere, he's going to have to cut back into the teeth where Jacob Rodriquez is waiting. very well schooled by Shield Wood in this defense.
Extremely well schooled. Impressive what Shield Wood has done in year one here. 3rd and 9. There's a downfield shot launching for Roberts. Oh, a chance to make a catch, a play you really got to make at this point if you're BYU. Amir Boyd was in coverage and Roberts couldn't quite collect it.
Well, that is a great matchup with Roberts at 6'4", Boyd at 6'2". Does a great job of putting his hands on his back, but didn't push the corner. Now he's just got to go up and make a play. Did really all the tough stuff, use the body control, went into the air, and usually that's a play that the veteran Roberts finishes for a huge gain.
Kind of plays that decide games or decide your ability to sort of come back and challenge. Vanderharp boots it. Aiken lets it bounce all the way into the end zone. So wind at his back. It's a 69-yard punt. And Texas Tech will take over. And defense continuing to pitch a shutout here in Lubbock.
Play by this place. What a setting. Friendliest people, I think, on the tour by far.
It's been great.
As a town. Yeah, amazing.
Jacoby Williams tries the right side for 4. Texas Tech, of course, capable of explosive plays. You know that Mark Leftwich and McGuire are not going to throttle back here, but they can also capably grind out long drives on the ground, although that run gets nothing. Stopped up by Damani, who made that big breakup at the end of the half, so it's 3rd down coming up and 6.
Well, it's great to see Damani out there. He was out for 3 games back, just a presence back there, especially today. When you get spread out horizontally, you need these safeties to be able to come down and make plays in a run game. He's done it all game.
Douglas comes across all the way in motion. Instead, they throw it underneath in the seam. Williams, oh, could not quite elude the tackle of Tanner Wall, who saved a touchdown, but it's another chunk play.
Well, BYU had success blitzing Glasker and Kelly, 16 and 17 in the first half. Got a lot of pressure. Adjustment at halftime. If they blitz them, let's get the ball out quick to the back, and they hit him.
Quick 25 yards and a quick snap as they're into BYU territory again.
Boy, what an answer and an easy read and throw on that big play. You don't have to throw it 50 yards downfield with the backs that they have. And if you're going to blitz your linebackers at the second level, we'll get it out quickly. And that's a great answer to get the ball to Williams because of what he can do after the catch.
Motion Douglas all the way across the field. And both receivers on that left side, and the slant was wide open. Dickey picks his way patiently, weaving through BYU defenders for a first down to the 35. Got 11 more.
I think a very underrated aspect of his game. You look at him and he runs so hard, but I think he showed a really great example there of his patience and vision as a back.
Very shifty, isn't he? Pitch down the sidelines. Virgil just over his head. He was in single coverage against Maury Bamba.
Really feels like one of the first times we've seen BYU after that pass to Williams. It just feels like they're a little bit more on their heels, a little bit more vulnerable on this drive than they were at any point in the first half.
Pitch to the sideline. This is Micah Hudson. Just his 6th catch of the year. And Jack Kelly made the stop, picked up 5.
Cannot say enough about 17 and blue, Jack Kelly. I mean, he is single-handedly keeping BYU in this game with his ability to play in different areas on this defense.
Wow, they're trying to run guys off and on very late.
Yeah, they got time. You see the ref there standing over the ball because of Texas Tech making an adjustment.
Morton, long throw to the sidelines. That's Carter again. Makes a man miss. And we'll have a first down inside the 25. A matchup problem, and very good with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, he's so dangerous, and that time they sat back in zone. And again, remember when they want to stretch you horizontally, make you make plays in space, and a missed tackle result is a first down.
You spot on the Cougars. I think defense is still on their heels. Texas Tech's going to take a timeout here, but that third down play, big dudes making the long run on and off the field, quick first down, and Tech surprised they spent the timeout there. Play clock wasn't really an issue.
Watch Glasgow here come in from the left. Here, 16, he almost knocks this ball loose. Good job of Carter keeping on, holding on right there, held on to it.
Only kind of loose, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Brisket,
Shane Bow,
best
with
ever.
you, buddy. That place we ate it yesterday, we ate it again today. I'm with Shane.
Oh, really? You checked 2 boxes?
I went down.
Wow.
I went down twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
First down off that catch by Carter, and they try Dickey for about a yard gain.
You know, I dabbled in the brisket, but I lived in the smoked turkey and the chicken, whole chicken, pretty good.
That is also elite.
Elite, yeah.
BYU that time able to corral Dickey through about a 2-yard gain. Steak was nice last night, if you want me to chime in here. Food's just been really good in Lubbock, period.
Yeah, sure.
You like your meat.
Yeah, had a little Tex-Mex, went to the Plaza. It was a nice spot.
You eat well out here. That's what we're saying. Another third down.
Yep.
Need 7 here, just on the fringe of the red zone.
Yeah.
Dickey motions out. It's a 3-man rush, so he's got time. Launches to the perimeter. Jump ball. Douglas battling Evan Johnson, who's been strong in coverage today in the matchup against big 6'4" receiver.
I tell you what, he does a good job. Look at the top. Push him into the sideline. It basically takes him away. You know, as a receiver, you want to try to stack a defensive back and give him room to work to be able to throw the ball. But by pushing him into that boundary, took away any cushion at all for Morton to be able to throw that football. Great coverage.
So Stone Harrington again, trying to make it 3 for 3. Doesn't officially count as a red zone trip because he got stopped at the 21, but still Tech having a hard time converting these opportunities into touchdowns, and the lead is, it's still a 2-score game at 16-0.
And the BYU defense is keeping them at least within striking distance. Was texting a second ago with Patrick Mahomes about he is all in on the offense. Missed opportunity there at the end of the first half, and got to capitalize here this first possession.
Marcel Reed and the Aggies taking their undefeated record on the road to Columbia, just about a touchdown favorite. So folks expecting a tough test from that Mizzou defense.
Yeah, I think it'll be a great challenge for Marcel Reed and A&M. Expect their defense to get after Matt Salters, who's a freshman quarterback in for Bo Prabula, who's out for the year. It's his first career start, so you may want to avoid third down and long if you're Missouri. Rely on Ahmad Hardy to be able to run the ball.
All Aggie opponents, just put that in your game plan. Don't get the third and long.
Yeah, avoid that. They're the best in the country.
But that collision with Texas, the end of the season, it's in Austin this time, the day after Thanksgiving. Aggie's biggest test between now and then is today, coming up next. Hagan's going to give it a go, trying to make something happen with the return, but he stopped at the 21. Here comes Bear Bachmeier. By the way, he was a grade behind Julian Sand, of course, the Buckeyes quarterback, who happens to be the odds maker favorite of the Heisman. He was a 7th grader. Sand was an 8th grader on one of the elite teams out there. And you know, Bachmeier started ahead of Julian Sand.
I know.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, I saw his dad this morning. He let me know about that.
He let me know too, so your dad's pretty proud of that.
There's his
Michael.
dad.
Yeah. Michael is Bear's given name, by the way. You get Bear, Tiger, Cougar is the nickname for the younger son, who's a 9th grader, also a quarterback that a lot of folks are interested in.
Wow, got another one coming up. I didn't know that.
Yeah, young Cougar. Ooh, there's a throw into the left flat there. Incomplete. Leon Hunter had dropped out. Height got a piece of it.
And again, Chris, when you see this as a young quarterback, you're expecting this. And watch what happens. He drops right into the throwing lane. Bear Bachmeier very, very fortunate. Height is a pass rusher. Bear Bachmeier's young computer isn't thinking about height 9 as a pass rusher dropping. So simulated pressure causing problems for the young quarterback.
Two-back look here. And second and long. Been so impressed, Kirk, with Shieldwood. It's his 5th different school that he's been at calling defense in the last 5 years. He inherited a terrible Houston defense, made them really good last year. And what an impact he's made in Texas Tech year 1 here.
Been one of the best hires in the country. 34 points a game last year, and there he is, Shieldwood, now down to 13. That's 3 touchdown improvement. A lot of that has to do with some of the personnel, right? But also, I think the scheme, playing fast as a defense this year.
Moving around fast as a family. I said, do you have a home here maybe? And that defense getting after Bachmeier, who escapes and throws an interception. Picked off by Rodriquez, and J-Rod, as they call him, trying to make him a Heisman candidate around here. Makes a big play. The first takeaway by this defense today. 2nd overall for Tech. And there's Emma, his wife, going crazy, jumping up and down in the sunglasses.
She's fired up, and she should be. Let's take a peek at the AT&T connected clicker. Here he is right here. Just kind of reading the quarterback, the flow. You can see Bachmeier does a good job of keeping his play alive, but watch 10. Kind of reads the eyes, worried about the crosser, gets a hand on it, and then gets the bonus with the athletic ability, comes up with the interception. Bailey chasing him. How great is that? Your one All-American, Bailey's chasing him down. The other All-American, Rodriquez, able to come up with a big interception, and the big fella, Lee Hunter, chasing him out of the pocket.
Besides making tackles, he's a takeaway machine. That's his 3rd pick. He's punched out 7 footballs, 7 forced fumbles. And now Tech again on the fringe of the red zone, trying to add to this lead. Williams, stutter step. Feels like this BYU defense, and again and again and again, has been asked to try to keep their team in the game.
I know. Can they do it one more time? Meeting with Stash yesterday, I really enjoyed our time with him. He's just like an old soul, like he's just smiling, like he knows something we don't know.
Well, the country knows a lot more about Texas Tech than they did before. This has been an impressive, comprehensive performance. Job not done, but they're trying to deliver a serious blow right here.
And you brought up the point about 4 red zone trips for Texas Tech, only 1 touchdown. And the last one was basically a red zone trip down to the 21. So they've not been able to finish. This could be a blowout if they were able to finish some of these drives. But again, we got to give BYU's defense credit for cranking up the pressure and not letting this passing game give them points. Can they do it one more time?
Looks like it's going to be a direct snap as Morton goes out there. It's Dickey. They had 2 tight ends in the game, but BYU is still able to invade the backfield. That's Glasgow making the stop behind the line.
Those defensive linemen from BYU do such a good job at eating up these offensive linemen, freeing up Glasgow and Sarah and Jack Kelly to be able to flow against that run game and get downhill to make plays. And now it's going to be about matchups, trying to get pressure on Morton because he's going to throw it these next couple plays. They love number 7 Terrence Carter when they can get him into a matchup.
They try to close down, and it looks like a run all the way. Another direct snap to Dickey. Again, they want to protect Morton. They don't want to have him have to run the ball. We've seen him still nursing that ankle. They've been ready for the direct snaps, the Cougars defense.
Yeah, not surprised they ran a football there. Now they got third and long.
Dickey way out far left of the formation, just a couple steps off the sideline. Morton looking that direction. It's incomplete. He tried to find him, and Jack Kelly one more time arrived just in time to knock it loose, and it's 4th down again.
I'll tell you, I don't know how you can't watch this game and think Jack Kelly is not one of the best players on the field. He is a big, thick linebacker. I mean, you don't see guys wearing, with the injuries he's dealt with, you know, he's just a big dude, but can move around.
Two-time world champion in BMX. He did BMX from the time he was 3 till 12. Two-time world champion. Multiple national champion. Wow, big elite. Harrington again. He's just been automatic today for 29 yards. But J-Rod, as he called him here, sets up this possession, tipping it and then picking it off. And they've been chanting Heisman, Heisman around here. It's tough for a linebacker to get consideration, but you get caught up in it. Why not? Desmond is in the building, so go ahead, big guy. Efficient in the red zone. This would be a very, very lopsided game as it is. Latest field goal makes it 19-0, and the mountain gets a little bit steeper for BYU. It seems like every time Bachmeier gets the football back, it's tougher.
He hasn't had great field position all game long.
But bus driver Sam Mitchell getting the All-State bus with it here in Lubbock. The good hands play. Well, we just saw one.
Just saw it. We got to give it to him. He's already knocked out 7 fumbles with forced fumbles, and this time he's such a great athlete. Former quarterback. He told us about playing quarterback. How about that? That's as good a hands as you're going to see. And then he throws that Heisman pose out there.
He's got 10 tackles today. Great athlete in high school. Long jumper, triple jumper. Think about that athleticism and playing linebacker. His wife Emma, we talked about her, the Blackhawk pilot. BYU, Kirk, this has been backed up all day. All 8 drives from the 25 or worse.
Yep.
Preston Rex, flag flies. It's been a rarity today. Only the 4th penalty, and it's going to be another mistake of BYU.
Offense number 71. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Isaiah Jada. Holly, what do you have?
Well, Jacob Rodriquez is the opposite of this NIL era. He went to Virginia as a quarterback. He had his heart set on playing offense, and after a year, it wasn't going to happen. He transferred here to Texas Tech, and he had to take out a loan just to get through the first semester as a walk-on. He slept on the floor of his brother's apartment, and now here he is making plays. I asked him, should he be in the Heisman conversation? He said, not yet. We got to beat BYU.
Well, they're closing in on that. He's thankfully been able to be rewarded in the NIL era now that he's come here and made a huge impact on this program, but he never really played defense until he got here in college.
When he told us that yesterday, and he looks so natural and comfortable. But again, I'll go back to what he told us about playing quarterback his entire life, playing other positions, how it helped him with his vision to understand the game and be able to play fast on the defensive side of the ball when he finally made that switch over.
Holding penalties feel like almost impossible to overcome for this BYU offense on 2nd and 14. They pitch it underneath, but it's another really short game. Tech has really closed things down in space beautifully today. That was John Curry.
They keep hitting Bachmeier every time they get a chance, even on the rollout there. Wouldn't be surprised if maybe try to move him out away from this pressure of Bailey and height. Remember, they've been fooling him, dropping Bailey at times, trying to affect the eyes of the young quarterback. See if they play it straight up or do a good job again of disguising, showing one look and going to another post snap.
Saw his eyes looking around. And unusual drop, but he's able to slip the ball to Cody Hagan. It's interesting, it almost looked like he was going to run, and zips it across the 40 for a 17-yard gain.
And a little cut block right here, and then he's able to get underneath of Bailey. Good block there. Now get underneath him. Quick release. Those windows are tight. He doesn't have a whole lot of time to sit back there and think about what he wants to do. Picks up that block, makes a great throw on the line there. It's the longest gain of the entire game so far today for BYU.
Off the play fake, downfield shot, threw it in the dangerous area. He's been trying to find Chase Roberts. Bryce Pollock, the corner, broke it up.
Yeah, and Pollock, I think, confused him because initially, watch this when he runs. It looks like he's going to get cleared out and play in man coverage. Watch him going. You think he's running with that receiver. Instead, he comes off of it and almost steps in front for that interception. So I don't blame Bear Bachmeier. That looked like man coverage. It looked like he was going to be cleared out to open up the throw, and heck of a job of disguising that by Pollock.
Bachmeier from the pocket checks it down to Martin. L.J. Martin just hasn't looked quick or sudden against this defense today. Curry with the stop again.
Yeah, playing through some pain. And that's you admire that, but right now, not only Martin, but the offensive line and just the way this game has gone, they've not been able to get him going. If you would have told me that he'd have 9 carries and 31 yards, and we're almost at the end of the third quarter, I would say that they're out of rhythm. They don't have much of a chance. They need him to really open up every aspect of this offense, but Tech's taking that away.
Need 8 on third down. Bachmeier flips it across the middle to Kingston. He can't escape. Tackle made in open space by Curry, who's another Red Raider who's played a great game on defense, and it's fourth down.
These guys, they have great range as well. You know, they have speed. You know, these guys are 6'2", 6'3". They react quickly. I think it goes back to what Shieldwood, the defense coordinator, said about kind of streamlining the plan. Make this defense, allow them to understand it so they don't have to think. Paralyzes you. Instead, they free him up to play fast. And another great example there on that third down after the catch.
Curry, another hometown guy, comes from Lubbock. And get this, Kirk, he began his football career right here at
Field.
Vanderhaar back on the punt. It's Coy Aiken who'll just stay away from this one as it angles to the sidelines. Holly, can you see us through the smoke down there? Just talking to Joey McGuire.
Well, Coach McGuire, you huddled your team right there entering the fourth with the lead. What was the message?
Win the fourth quarter. You know, that's our seventh plan to win, seventh part of the plan to win the fourth quarter. We win the fourth quarter, we win this game.
Part of your plan is to take 3 turnovers. You already got 2. How do you get that one?
Hey, just let J-Rod do what he does. I mean, y'all know what everybody thinks of him, and everybody else around the country needs to understand exactly who he is.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
How much fun is he to hang around? He's right. If they win the fourth quarter, they got the victory here, and that is part 7 of the plan. I think the first 6 parts.
So far, they've checked every box.
Yeah.
Got 1 box left.
Dickey, he's got the edge. Cameron Dickey is loose, makes a little cut. Still going. Spins into BYU territory as the explosive plays continue. 33 more.
Running the counter play, pulling a backside left guard, left tackle. And I think this is what makes this team real, is the ability to run the football. You get so concerned about a lot of the speed they have and the way they can throw it downfield, but you got to respect the running game first.
Continue to test the run game here. You can be explosive with the run game with a couple different guys, actually, and obviously explosive with your receivers and your tight end. That's a lot of explosive to deploy.
Well, they're coming into this game, they're second in the nation, 43 pass plays of 20 yards or more, top in the nation for explosive plays. But again, what I like is some of those games you're not going to have those explosives. You can look at the playoff and be, you know, what they might have in front of them. The fact that they can run the football is going to make you have to respect that part of the physicality of their game.
You mentioned the playoff. It's not lost on these folks. They wanted to focus on this game, but you get the win.
Offense number 70, 5-yard penalty, second down.
You get to 8-1. UCF is next. Then there's a bye. They're at West Virginia in their conference finale.
This team's real, though. I mean, you can see, we see all these teams every week all over the country, and you know, I think familiarity is not necessarily something that a lot of the country is probably. You know, when you watch Texas Tech, you don't have that same recognition of who Baron Morton is, or Reggie Virgil, Caleb Douglas, or Cameron Dickey, but they're seeing them today.
Slant, catch made, flag is down as Virgil moves the ball inside the 35, flag back at the line of scrimmage.
Illegal shift. Offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Penalties, just the third. They've been such a clean game. No turnovers, 3 penalties, dominated in special teams. Red zone efficiency is the one area that could be a lot better.
Yeah, and that's been an issue for them. So there was initial movement from the receiver up top as the receiver was going in motion.
Wipes out the big gain. 2nd and 17. Play fake. Morton backpedals and swings it across the middle. In space is Dickey. Dickey's got some blocks. He's got the edge. And he gets all of it back before Tanner Wall forced it out. Another explosive play.
Yeah, it's just really a check down, but the linebackers who have been so active, they got fooled by Bear Morton looking them off, and it created a nice space on that check down to Dickey, and we know what he can do after he makes that catch.
Morton looking to sling it again across the middle, and it's dropped in and out of the hands of Reggie Virgil. Crowd a big groan. They saw a touchdown perhaps developing there.
Virgil worked over across the middle, and I think he started to think about Tanner Walls. He is just starting to think about where he wanted to go and protecting the football.
This could be the 34th play Red Raiders have run in BYU territory. 34 of their 60 plays. Dickey again speeds around the edge and is bumped out of bounds by Tanner Wall, but it's a first down inside the 20. Got 11 more.
That counter play is worked, and Patrick Mahomes says that's a first down. That counter play keeps working. They keep getting the edge of this BYU defense here on this drive, especially.
Dickey over 110 yards now. 19 carries, almost 6 yards a pop. Jacoby Williams spells him in the backfield. They fake it to him. Long pitch for the end zone and way over the head of Virgil. No chance for the rangy receiver to make a play.
I'm sure Bear Morton is thinking, guys, we're scoring in this red zone. We're 1 of 5 if you include the other one where they were down to the 21. 1 of 6 down in this area. Remember, coming into the game, they're 98th in the country. It's scoring touchdowns in the red zone.
And you said it. May not affect the impact here, but the outcome here. But you go forward, you get into these situations, playoffs and on. Another slant, caught again. Aiken holding on to the ball as he tried to rip it out of his hands. Fights hard. Troy Aiken, slot receiver, gives him a 1st and goal.
What an effort there by Aiken. 6'2", 210 pounds. Tough guy.
Big, strong slot.
Yeah, I mean, usually you see him blocking, making good plays. Dropped one earlier, but this time not only to catch, they're going to keep it just short of the first down.
And he could spot him back, and no problem as they just pick it up. And spinning free and just tripped up is Williams at the 3-yard line. Feels inevitable they're going to find the end zone on this trip.
Yeah, I think this BYU defense, they've had to answer the bell so many times. You just, this point in the 4th quarter at 19-0, it's a different mindset.
Going to bring in 5 fresh bodies here for the Cougars defense. A couple of tight ends in the game. John Carlos Miller joining Carter. And flags flying all over the place. Slammed down short of the goal line as Williams. Little loss of focus from the Red Raider offense in this possession. Up comfortably. Kevin Marr getting the Big 12 crew together.
BYU have 12 guys.
Illegal substitution. Defense, 12 players in formation. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Remember, you talked about bringing 5 or 6 new players onto the field. Well, one of them forgot to get off, whoever he was coming in for. So he had 12 defenders. Like a diamond formation with Dickey there.
6 offensive linemen. Power! And walking in is Cameron Dickey. Texas Tech making a statement in front of the nation today. Comprehensive and dominant against the previously undefeated top 10 football team. Dickey finally gets that touchdown and cap off what's been a really effective 111-yard day. He went pure power down near the goal line and would not be denied that time. 80-yard drive in 9 plays. Overrated is the loss of chance here in Lubbock. Hey, take the win. You want people to believe BYU is a top 10 team. Cameron Dickey powers it in. Texas Tech up 26-0. Good D, A&M, certainly a part of that conversation.
A&M's been amazing on defense. Very complete team with what they're doing, not just on defense, but with Marcel Reed, obviously. Talking about offense, let's go back to Cameron Dickey, the drive that he had. Ended up running the football 4 times, 48 yards. Caught a ball out of the backfield, little check down with room to work, had 24 yards. Just a really nice drive as an entire offense, and he finishes it off with his touchdown. Sounds like he said we're coming for the natty.
But he said we're playing for Maddie.
Oh, Maddie.
Ali will explain that. Yeah,
that's great.
See the little scissors cut, man.
Yeah.
The barber and BYU getting involved in that story as it checked in, just scooping the ball up there is Carson Ryan. Holly, more in that story?
Absolutely. Well, Maddie is the wife of the Texas Tech team barber, Ivan Ortiz. She was in a terrible car accident, and the family's medical bills have mounted. So Ivan set up a GoFundMe this week. Well, for some reason, the BYU fans found out about it. They had a goal of $25,000. Over $176,000 has been raised to help support this fan base. Just something really special the BYU fans have done, and a lot of people have got involved. The CEO of Crumble Cookie, based in Utah, donated $25,000. Just the heart for giving of these BYU Cougar fans.
No doubt, Holly. I mean, it doesn't surprise us at all. We know how generous BYU fan base can be getting involved. And there's a long throw. Kingston's got it. So finally down 26. BYU beginning to generate something downfield with the pass game. Back-to-back plays.
Good to see the receivers. I mean, we thought we'd see them when they were down 16-0, have a chance to get their receivers, Kingston and company, more involved. Chase Roberts, these guys are good players downfield.
A little softer cushion than we've seen from this Red Raider defense, and Kingston collects it for a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, they're obviously in more of a prevent mode, trying to keep their safeties back. They're going to give away some of those underneath seams for Bachmeier to be able to make those quick throws.
I bet they dig in here, though. This Red Raider defense would want the shutout. Kingston takes a big shot but makes the catch inside the 20. Bryce Pollock hit him.
They've been running those kind of those tight 7 routes where you look, instead of extending it towards the sideline, it's almost like a 7 stop where the receiver runs like a post corner, but then settles down and lets him be able to just throw that into that tight window. He's like a half roll, and he's been able to throw that 3 or 4 times into that window.
Fresh defenders on for Texas Tech on this first down play. Just has not gotten going today. Bachmeier, obviously the focal point of every BYU opponent. Red Raiders have been ready for him today as a runner.
They were locked in. They really felt that if they could stop this run game, the combination of Martin and Bachmeier, that they would put this offense in those 2nd and 3rd longs, and it's played out that way so far.
First red zone trip all day for the Cougars. Bachmeier flips it down to Martin. Martin able to get inside the 10, a 1st and goal. Rodriquez makes another tackle. Should we have seen this sooner? That's what BYU fans are asking right now, Kirk. This kind of up-tempo, kind of no huddle, slinging it around.
Yeah, we'd love to have seen it, but the problem is they haven't picked up many first downs to be able to go into this fast tempo, and a lot of times they've been back deep in their own territory. This got ignited with a couple first downs to get them going.
Bachmeier flips to the end zone, and touchdown. Catch made by Chase Roberts. It was a crisp 75-yard drive. Just finally avoid the shutout and get back within 20.
Boy, what a really good route by Chase Roberts. Does a good job of getting the defender that time turned completely around. John Curry. Curry's a big, rangy linebacker. It's tough to be able to stay with Roberts. He ended up holding on to that.
He did. He's had a couple tough ones early. That bounced off the shoulder pad. 2-point try for BYU. Cut this to an 18-point game. Slant, caught, diving is Roberts. They throw a flag. Is going to be a pick play.
Yeah, little illegal pick, offensive PI on Kingston 11.
That's, of course, the design of that play. Just got to sell a little better, don't you?
Well, he blocked. And
that's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, unless he catches that behind the line of scrimmage.
He was close to the line of scrimmage.
And I think the ball brought him in front of the line of scrimmage.
Let's get Bill Lamagnier a rep. And this is not the most demanding test of Lamagniere's skills, but he's had a quiet afternoon here. He went all the way to Lubbock. Bill, what do you see here?
Early kick for Bill today.
I've got the pass right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's
so you can't have offensive pass interference.
Is that they're going to take? They're going to. Oh, they
called it. Well, they huddle up to see exactly where Roberts caught the ball as Kingston was blocking.
The ball, I felt like the ball brought him in front of
offense. The ball was caught beyond the line of scrimmage.
I don't know if Kevin Marr sounded sure of himself.
Penalty. First down.
Lamagnier with a shake of the head.
Retry.
Now replay can look at that to see if a ball passes across the line of scrimmage or not.
Bill, look, watch the black line. Obviously, if it's any piece of his body, any part of his body, or is it where the ball is?
It's strictly the ball.
So the ball is right in front, right? So that's in front of the 3-yard line.
Beyond the line of scrimmage, yeah. So that 15-yard penalty backs them up. They're going to take a long trot down to the field just to get their steps in today. Check the monitor to confirm what we just showed you, that the call of OPI was correct. You still don't buy it, Bill? You don't think that ball was beyond the line of scrimmage?
Too technical.
Too technical? Is that what you say when you're wrong? When in doubt, it was too technical. Another look. His foot was on the line, but the ball had crossed it.
The ball is across the line. This is the throw actually brings him towards the goal line.
You know what, D. Anderson, the replay official, hadn't had much to do today. Let's get him involved here in the final 8 minutes. Check it out.
Well, let's not take 8 minutes, but we don't mind getting him a quick rep.
You haven't seen a lot of Big 12 this year until you started screening games for your prep.
Not watching the Big 12. I'm speaking of the Big 12. We got score updates throughout the entire country. I'll tell you, the team that's really impressive today is Georgia. Sneaky game at Mississippi State. They're up 41-14. And Penn State's making a comeback. Indiana up 20-17 in State College.
Winless in the Big Ten. What if they knocked off the #2 team? That would be at the beginning of the season. You wouldn't have sent a stunner, but today it feels like a stunner. Yeah, Georgia. We'll have Georgia in prime time on ABC next Saturday against the Texas Longhorns. They met twice last season. Both times Dogs come out on top.
Good time to bring up, if Texas Tech ends up winning this game and BYU were to win out, there would be a rematch of these two teams on a neutral site in the Big 12 championship.
It's in Arlington. Yep.
Yeah, and you would wonder if BYU were to somehow win that rematch, how that would impact. There's no way you can keep Texas Tech. If they run the table, they're undefeated. If they were to lose to BYU, you couldn't take, or the one loss, but you couldn't keep them out. I think the way they played most of this year, they'd have a strong case at the very least if they were to lose.
Yeah. Bit of a case.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. It is pass interference. Offense number 11, 15-yard penalty, will reattempt the try.
But the point is, even with BYU losing this game, their hopes, as you brought up on a graphic earlier, are not completely dashed. I mean, they
50-50 basically.
50%, yeah. And which would mean they're going to have to win the rest of the regular season games and then get into Arlington in the Big 12 championship and more than likely have a rematch against his team.
Got TCU next, then Provo, then at Cincinnati. Certainly a quality team. They try to out-physical the Bearcats, then the UCF. So they have 3 more conference games after this one. Point is good. Barron will tee the ball up. Sometimes we're seeing more and more kickers kind of place the ball flat on the ground and then kind of get it spinning.
He's got 6 lined off to his left, 4 guys to his right. But appears to be kicking it deep. Nope.
That's little Pooch. They'll try to put it in space and go chase it. Bouncing around down there. And it's fallen on by Jacoby Williams. All-State bringing you the rankings for the first week. They're using these CFP committee rankings. And notice the second line there. Penn State has just taken the lead over number 2 Indiana.
Just happened. Katron Allen with a little catch out of the backfield, made a couple guys miss into the end zone. With Penn State, everything that they've been through over the last 4 or 5 weeks, you imagine if they rallied at home. They got bombed last week against Ohio State. A lot of people thought Terry Smith, the former Nittany Lion player, was doing a good job, but that defeat was really demoralizing. But they have shown up ready to go clearly against IU.
Imagine your first Big Ten win against the number 2 team.
And
Williams takes a handoff. Isaiah Glasgow in the start. Talked about Texas Tech's remaining schedule. UCF next week. They got a bye, and then to Morgantown to close things out. So just 2 games left as they're on the verge of going to 9-1, 6-1 in the conference. By the way, both these teams defeated Utah. So you're talking about a potential rematch. They would have the tiebreak over the Utes in that Big 12.
I'm just going to predict right now that trip November 29th against Rich Rod, cold. That's a tough matchup for them against West Virginia.
Talked about BYU. What if they can recover from this? TCU at Cincinnati. And they're given a good percentage chance to win by the FPI in all 3 games. And if they do that, could get another swing at Texas Tech down the road in Arlington.
A game.
3rd season for the Cougars in the Big 12. That's it.
Yeah, that game at Cincinnati would be big for both those teams. Bearcats losing the line of scrimmage last week to the Utes.
Pitch on the sidelines. Ooh, dangerous throw by Morton off the hands of Therian Alexander. Had a great chance at a pick there.
Well, there you go. That's what you needed. BYU in the last 21 games, they have thrived going back to the beginning of 24 on these opportunities. Usually they come up with those interceptions. 3rd in the nation, +10 in turnover margin, and missed an opportunity. They get the punt, but they missed an opportunity for that turnover.
Burgess to kick it away, and missed opportunities is something we've said a lot today. I'm sure that's what Sitake will talk about. Fair catch, you know, whether it's the drops, the muff punt, the early missed field goal, missed interception like that. Normally really solid team. This looked like their year for that, Kevin, but tell you what, you respect a team that's had a dismal year playing with a lot of fight and fire. BYU found the end zone on their last possession. Got to do it a few more times. Bachmeier zips it, and too far ahead of Parker Kingston. Frustrating day for the Bear. You know, the normal running game, including him as a runner, really hasn't materialized. slung it around on that last possession. 7 for 7, including the touchdown pass to Roberts. Stayed very, very patient with the run game for a long time as the deficit mounted. Now there's no time for that. It's a screen to Martin, and there's nowhere to run.
Zone defense, but like I said, playing more of a kind of a prevent, keep the ball in front. Eyes are all over the screens. Any throws underneath. And they react so quickly once that ball is thrown. Great team pursuit all game long, all season long, and they did it again.
Got a lot of very talented individual players that came via the portal, but a lot of guys who really play well together. Very, very savvy in this scheme. As it went off the hands of Kingston. Another missed opportunity. Went up high to get it. Still took a shot, but it's going to be 4th down.
You know, and just this is another example of what you see from this defense. Just watch the reaction. Watch how quickly you see the break on the ball. Ball's not even out, and he's already coming over there to be able to make a play on the ball. Wisniewski's been playing great, good read, got there early to be able to affect that throw.
He's out of the game for the moment, Kirk. He took the shot off his shoulder pad, and trainers are checking him out. Cougars got to have it on 4th down. Ryan, the tight end, fighting, not gonna get there. Texas Tech makes the stop. John Curry, Ben Roberts, and that should just about secure it if it wasn't before.
Yet another example with good eyes on the football. Checks it down to his tight end, Ryan. And you said, Chris, a combination of Ben Roberts and John Curry right in the middle there of the defense. Check it down, leverage on the ball, nowhere to go.
You can find talented defensive players in the portal. You got to pick the right guys. They were spectacular in selecting guys. It's not like everybody's a no-brainer. You got to get them in there, judge them off, you know, what you saw on tape with their previous plays, then get them to work together, believe in each other, buy in completely. Yep. And that's where Joey McGuire and the culture building comes in. I
think that's the secret sauce to what they have here. It's easy to be an outsider and say, well, Texas Tech $7 million on the D-line and all this money that they threw into the portal. We saw Texas A&M throw a ton of money into the portal a few years ago, about 4 years ago, maybe 5, when Jimbo Fisher was near the end and it imploded on him. So that's not always the answer. The culture that Joey McGuire has been creating here now for 4 years.
LSU spent a fortune in the portal. It doesn't automatically guarantee success at all.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting talking to the players yesterday about, I said, what's it like having all these new guys? And both guys stepped up quickly and talked about how they came in. They're good guys. They fit our culture. They want to be part of the team. They said that this is the best team unity we've had this year than we've had maybe the previous 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, total buy-in, and why not? There's a lot to play for. These guys who have been different places, not had the kind of team success for the most part that they're enjoying together here in Lubbock. Holly?
Well, Joey McGuire actually told us in his 31 years of coaching, this is the best building he's ever been in. Said you can feel the palpable culture that we've been able to create, and his players echo that. Baron Morton, his quarterback, and his quarterback of the defense, Jacob Rodriquez, said, this is the best team I've ever been on from a closeness standpoint, and that includes high school. These kids feel it. They've bought in, not just with the transfers, but this whole team is feeling that chemistry.
Best building, certainly the biggest building. Cedar Hill was a great high school program in Texas. They didn't have these facilities.
No, not at all. But I will say this. I think sometimes the players get caught up in the individuality.
After the play was over,
this is an example.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense number 5. That's number 5's first unsportsmanlike foul of the game. It's a 15-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
McGuire won't like that. It's Caleb Douglas.
I think Texas Tech's an example and a reminder that nobody knew anything about these individuals other than they talked about them in the portal. But when you win, it brings a ton of attention to the team and to the individuals. And is that what that was?
Now it's off to the left.
I think it's more
Douglas was off to the left side there, side of our picture. So that backs him up. Still moving the football back all the way near midfield.
But he's just one of those guys, whether you're talking about football or talking about anything. where to go to dinner. He just has a likable personality. You know, he's
good ideas too about dinner and football.
He did. Both were really good. But he just, if he's going to recruit you, you're going to send your kid to a good place. They still feed into these players at Texas Tech, not just the football part of it, but just the individual side, student, off the field.
It mirrors Lubbock in West Texas, you know, hardworking, disciplined, you know, staying humble. But it is not easy to do that. You can say, okay, the resources are the beginning. Frankly, you need to do that in the modern game, and they had a lot of folks who were willing to pony up. And they'll continue to do that. They want to also build the developmental part of it. And they're also in the hunt for some very coveted recruits out of high schools. AC Concepcion, one of the big play weapons for Marcel Reed and that Aggies offense. And to get the job done on the road in Columbia today.
Well, if you haven't watched A&M, or maybe you're a big fan of A&M, just watch Casey Concepcion block. That'll tell you all you need to know about Texas A&M and why they're having a great year this year. Those receivers block, and it really opens up that run game. And Marcel Reed, it's a tough game for them on the road in Columbia. It'll be a good one to watch.
Can't wait, whatever happens today, for that collision with Texas at the end of the season. Longhorns had a hard-fought victory in College Station. Aggies have to go to Austin this time. That punt bounces into the end zone with 4:10 to go. Well, Tuesday, edition 2 of the CFP Top 25 rankings. We'll break things down top to bottom. Mark Rhodes, athletic director here in the Big 12 at Baylor, is the committee chairman. He'll join Reset in the group, 7 Eastern on ESPN, and of course on the ESPN app. We're to see where they move Texas Tech. Obviously, we're talking about Indiana in front of them, potentially getting stunned at Penn State. But I think you, forgetting what else everybody else has done, you watch this performance today by this team.
Yeah, if you think BYU is the 7th-ranked team in the country, and you're in the committee room, you know, how can you? This game it's 26-7. It could have been 46-7.
You know, they just hand it off to Martin. Cougars have to bounce back. You know, Sataki, like his mentor LaBelle Edwards, doesn't get too high or too low. He's very calm under fire. His team didn't bounce back from a loss last year, as I said before. It was the second loss that cost them. They're in that same position now. They've got to regroup. Yeah. This was not what they expected.
Put this one behind them fast.
Bachmeier threw it backwards. That's a live ball bouncing around there, and it's covered by Texas Tech. He was in the grass, but he just made a desperation play, but it was a backwards pass. Pure panic setting in as big old Lee Hunter, 330-pounder, had him in his grasp.
And why not Jacob Rodriquez jump on that ball? Why not? The turnover machine. This is definitely a ball that goes backwards. Yep. Now it's a free ball. David Bailey, he doesn't want to hop on it, so Jacob Rodriquez said, I'll take it with all my forced fumbles. A couple interceptions. I need a fumble
Heisman
recovery.
campaign. I got to get the fumble recovery. Well, I don't know about the Heisman. We've seen some defensive players in recent years begin to get recognition. Chase Young, Aiden Hutchinson as pass rush guys. Of course, you know, a two-way player won the Heisman a year ago. But, I mean, if Texas Tech's defense is going to be one of the stories in the sport, this guy is like the poster guy of the defense.
Yeah, he is.
Well, his fumble recovery just puts one on the tee for Morton here. I hate his stash. I think he had in high school. He's been growing it.
It's thick. It is thick. I think if he shaved it, he'd have it. Who do they have next week? I think it'd be full bloom by next Saturday.
UCF.
False start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's John Curry, Ben Roberts, the stash crew. Sometimes those guys want to hang out together all.
Right. Well, you better bring it strong if you're going to step into the club. I wouldn't have a shot.
They brought it strong today as the defense. But this was a statement. And you'd seen the stats and you heard maybe a little bit about it. If you haven't seen this defense play until today, you know, they stopped an offense that's BYU's been pretty productive offense.
Suffocating.
Yeah.
Probably the best word. At all three levels. Able to get off blocks. Linebackers, of course, flying around, making plays. Secondary sticky coverage. They disguised it really well with Shield Wood, mixing up looks. The other thing, they really handled the hype. You and I have done this, a ton of times when a team like this, maybe a little bit on the fringe, they step into that big stage. Game day's here, they're camping out, talking about it for a week. You get out of your normal routine as a player because the noise. Sometimes it's a little bit too big and too bright for teams that aren't used to it. These guys seem to relish it. They stepped right into it and played great football despite all that noise as distractions.
There you go.
I tried. That's the only way I can grow it.
What was that? A reverse handlebar?
I
got it upside down.
I wasn't in charge of it.
That's upside down.
I wasn't in charge.
What are you doing?
I didn't do it.
Okay, somebody
stuck it.
Did you not know what that looked like?
I didn't know what it looked like.
It's upside down.
Usually you counted somebody in the truck to say it's upside down.
Nobody said anything?
I had no idea.
Allison is humiliated.
I let the ball club know. I got no idea.
Oh, man.
Down.
Hey, we want to thank the two sports information directors from these schools, a representative of the great assistants from the true pros who do that job around the country. It's long hours. Sometimes it's thankless, but Brett Pine from BYU, just elite. Matt Dowdy from Texas Tech, same thing. Appreciate the hospitality from Matt and his staff. And all of the SIDs, all the programs that we come in contact with, we really appreciate what you do. Look out, Leland. We're headed back down to Athens for the 9th or 10th time, it seems like, in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it is going to be hyped. Arch Manning bye week for the Sark.
There you go. That's how you do it, Kirk. Right.
That's a good one there. That would have worked a lot better. Tell you, Indiana on the ropes here, Chris. Minute 22. They have the ball deep in their own territory.
Still a 4-point Penn State lead. Should we just do a play-by-play on this one?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna. I'll let you know if anything happens.
Please do. Meanwhile, Texas Tech trying to just punctuate this. And a few more points before the celebration really begins here in Lubbock. Just screen to the edge. And Douglas, who was just penalized for that unsportsmanlike, trying to get some of the yards back. They're going to have to handle even more hype because you said they've done a great job. It's an older, mature team, but now with the win here, it was 84% coming in. That changes depending on the results of other games. This is to reach the Big 12 championship game.
Wait. How do you guys come up with 96 and 97 after a win?
To reach the championship game. That's just to get to Arlington.
The championship.
Yeah.
Okay.
They like BYU's chances against TCU, Cincy, and UCF. Mm-hmm. And even a one loss there, they would still have the tiebreak over Utah. So don't ask me to explain the algorithm. But
yeah, I don't.
But I mean, I think
not in charge of that.
But I think CFP, that's the percentage you were talking about coming in. And again, Texas Tech is going to be told now.
Yes. And like we said, you imagine if they punch these in down in the red zone?
You're right.
It
could have been about 46-7.
One-sided.
Harrington, meanwhile, trying to make it 5 for 5 today. Stone Harrington. Sounds like a name out of a daytime drama. Is 5 for 5 today. Well, a smile from Joey McGuire. Late buddy Mike Leach, of course, had this place in the spotlight 2000, 2009. And some tough times. Tuberville, Cliff Kingsbury thought it would work out here. Didn't. Matt Wells comes in, and then Joey McGuire, takes over. He's gotten his team to bowl games each of his seasons so far, but now it's the next level.
And raise your hand if you're not a Texas Tech fan when they said Joey McGuire was the head coach. Who got excited coming off of Matt Wells? Not a lot of people, because they didn't know his background as a high school coach and legendary high school coach. And more importantly, didn't know him as a person and what he's been able to create, not just this year. This has kind of been brewing for 3 years.
Absolutely.
I think they have staying power with the support they have from Cody Campbell and others, the culture, the facilities, the recruiting. This is not a one and done with Texas Tech. They're going to be a program to be talking about in the Big 12 and on the national landscape, I think, for a long time with Joey McGuire and Charles.
Yeah, I don't see the commitment waning from Campbell and others after this. They will have to replace some studs, especially on the defensive side. There's a lot of veterans on this team, but they are beginning to get the attention of top recruits. This has not been easy over the years to win a recruiting battle against Texas A&M and Oklahoma, period.
But I think they want to grow from like an NFL franchise through the draft with them through recruiting, and then, pick your spots on the portal. I don't think they want to become let's just go out and spend all.
Oh, no.
They want to spend all their money on their roster that they recruit, not necessarily on outside players coming in. Now you're going to spend some money on that, but I think really they want to build from within and develop. That's really fits who he is and his background.
Let's think nearer term than that, Bill. Let's talk about the CFP. What kinds of teams could give Texas Tech trouble based on what you've seen, and how much trouble could they give everybody else in the bracket?
I think it's line of scrimmage would be the one question that you would have, and mainly their own offensive line. Yeah, they're going to get an interference there.
Took a downfield shot to JoJo Phillips, and Polak, who's been penalized 4 times this season coming into that, may have drawn the flag.
Pass interference.
How committed
defense number 14.
is Patrick Mahomes to the cause here? Up 29-7. He's still standing up, cheering, yelling with the refs. That's not interference. I mean, most guys come in, they come back to their alma mater. It's up 29-7. They're out of here. He's waiting to the last whistle. Then he's probably going to go down and talk to the lads in the locker room after the game.
He just loves it, as you said, and I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't go to the locker room.
No, he is.
Talk to the lads.
He is a fan. That's what makes it, I think, so much fun for him to get back, watch his team. He may have to come back again in the postseason, figure out, balance out the Chiefs' playoff run and maybe Texas Tech's playoff run.
I was going to say his postseason is pretty important too. The way the Chiefs have been playing lately. Bachmeier took a peek downfield, didn't like it, and now fires incomplete across the middle. That is the 2-minute timeout. Now the stash craze, not limited to Rodriquez and Roberts and Curry. He's got his also. Is that upside down?
I don't know. I don't know what's upside down and what's not. They have so many different designs. How are you supposed to know?
Go like all the way down the field. The call stands. Kevin, thank you. What a catch. And Indiana drove down the field and rescued their perfect record for now. What a drive. 75 yards, 10 plays. Brilliant play on the end line and a gut punch to Penn State that played well today.
Indiana fans, college football fans are going to be watching that catch and what was at stake to remain unbeaten. What an unbelievable effort by Omar Cooper, that receiver from Indiana.
And Mendoza on that whole drive. So Parker Kingston out of the game being looked at. It's a 3rd and 10. Final 2 minutes here. Bachmeier checks it down. And hard-earned 4 yards by Ryan, the tight end.
Other thing I noticed yesterday in talking with the coaches and watching it play out is the depth. A lot of these guys who were starters a year ago ended up getting beat out up the defensive line. They provide good depth on this defense.
Bachmeier on 4th down again, just slings it, no chance to make a play. And this Texas Tech defense, one final stop, and they can just kneel down and bleed out this clock and celebrate an end to a streak. They had not beaten a top 10 team in the last 16 tries, 16 straight losses against top 10 opponents. That streak is history. Last win 13 years ago to West Virginia, where the Mountaineers were ranked number 5. They'd never been this big a favorite against any ranked team. An emphatic statement here. The home team in Lubbock today.
Yeah, good job of handling the week, the build up, the hype, the expectation. Sometimes for a team, and when it's new, it can be too much. I think they showed a lot of maturity today, really prepped well on both sides of the ball, and BYU just ran into a difficult team to play in a bad environment. If BYU can win out and Texas Tech ends up getting to Arlington, which obviously it looks like they will, we'd have this rematch in the Big 12 championship game, so they could get another shot on a neutral field.
And Sitake and his coaching staff will have a lot of thinking to do about how to deal with this Texas Tech defense led by Jacob Rodriquez. What a day for him with his wife Emma in attendance. Had the pick, fell in a fumble on the backwards pass by Bachmeier. Was all over the field, along with David Bailey and Romello Height and John Curry, Wisniewski. Many stars and standouts for this Texas Tech defense today, as there have been all season long.
All season long.
Look out, Lubbock. There's going to be a big party tonight. You got a CFP and perhaps national title contender in this team, the way they look today. McGuire and Sitake, good buddies. Strong connection between these men. Perhaps the first of two. But in the meantime, let's hear from Joey McGuire with Holly.
Well, Coach McGuire, one of the most hyped games ever in this community. But how did your team step up and take care of the football part of this?
Yeah, it was awesome. The energy of the crowd, our students were amazing